Things just got interesting here at Rams training camp right before the first preseason game of the season tomorrow. On the offensive side of the ball, a surprise competition brewing, as well as some key players to watch heading into tomorrow's preseason game against the Cowboys. All that and more on this episode of Rams Digest. And welcome back to another episode of Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Finehirsh. And before we get into today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are now on the road to 5K subscribers. And click that notification bell. Click all so that you get notified whenever we post our daily new Rams Digest videos covering all things Rams, and you get notified and do not miss a single one. And leave a like on this video, as tomorrow the Rams take on the Cowboys in the SoFi Stadium at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and I believe 1 p.m. in Hawaii if anybody watching is out there. So make sure to leave a like on this video for that. We've officially hit preseason game 1 tomorrow, and to watch that game for the greater LA area, it will be on ABC. If you are not in the greater LA area, it will for sure be on NFL Plus. I don't know what other stations you can get football on outside of the LA area. So if you're not in the LA area, make sure to Google that so you can watch the game accordingly. And now to our main story of today. We have a surprise running back competition brewing in training camp for Kyren Williams' backup, and we're getting into that right now. This is from Rams Wire. The Los Angeles Rams kick off their 2025 preseason schedule tomorrow against the Dallas Cowboys. It'll be their first chance for some of the players to see the field and get ready for the regular season. While the preseason result doesn't matter, the play on the field will be invaluable for head coach Sean McVay's evaluation process as he finalizes his roster and roles for the season. That tonight is a typo. That game is indeed tomorrow, so I do apologize for that. That had me scared there for a second. Actually, that had me scared there for a little bit. The game was tonight, and I was wrong about everything. But no, it is tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Make sure to write that down in your calendar. And yeah, this is definitely correct. This is very important for a lot of these players, a lot of these rookies, a lot of players fighting for roster spots. This game is where you're going to for sure get a lot of leeway and a lot of snaps so that you could prove yourself to try and make this roster for Sean McVay's evaluation process, really beginning after this first preseason game. The starters likely won't play, so McVay told reporters this week he's excited to see some of the young players perform on the field. The one area he's most excited to see, though, is the Rams' backup running backs and outside linebackers, as we actually have a quote from Sean McVay about that right now. I'm looking forward to watching Blake Corum, watching Jarquez, Hunter, and Ronnie Rivers and those guys run, McVay said. Looking forward to seeing our outside linebackers play. Obviously, we know Jared Verse and Byron Young are solidified. There's a lot of great competition behind those guys for a lot of different roles and responsibilities based on the personnel that we're looking in, and that's another spot that I'm looking for. Yeah, this is definitely a correct synopsis of the outside linebacker talks and the competition, because there's a lot of guys really vying for 2 to 3 roster spots there right now, so I'm excited to see a lot of those guys. We'll get into that in a little bit later in this video. But the running back thing is quite interesting to me, because I always thought Blake Corum and Jarquez Hunter, that order, were the top 2 backups to Kyren Williams, but that does not seem to be like that is the for sure case, at least depth chart order-wise, heading into this week's game, because I, for one, thought Blake Corum was maybe not going to even play in this game heading into week 1 of preseason, but it looks like he is going to. I knew Jarquez Hunter was going to get a lot of the reps, but Blake Corum's got more to prove than I thought here heading into this first preseason game of the year. Kyren Williams is the entrenched starter in the backfield, and Corum has a year of experience, but seeing how Corum and Hunter play will help determine their roles in the offense moving forward. Corum could be more of a true bell cow back, while Hunter might be more of a change of pace back. Yeah, that's a good synopsis of their play styles. Corum's more that bell cow guy, not as explosive. Hunter's more of a change of pace guy. It ran at 4.4440. Triple fours right there. How you like that? But definitely more of a pace guy. Change up the pace of play. I talk about that in basketball a lot, changing up the pace of play. But you can also do that here in the NFL. And for Jarquez Hunter in his senior season, he had 1,200 yards, 6 touchdowns, on only 187 carries, 6.4 yards per carry. So again, he might be more of a bit of a bench guy throughout his career. Sort of, you kind of compare this to like Tony Pollard Zeke type of thing, where Tony Pollard was so good off the bench, and then once he became a starter, he's been fine, but he hasn't really been anything crazy since turning into that full-time bell cow back role there in Tennessee. But we'll have to see exactly how Jarquez Hunter does end up playing here in these first few preseason games. Meanwhile, the Rams have a lot of backup outside linebackers that defensive coordinator Chris Shula will need to deploy on given defensive plays. Guys like Brennan Jackson, Nick Hampton, and Kara Thomas are back, and the Rams also have a few rookies and third-rounder Josiah Stewart and UDFAs Jameel Muhammad and Josh Percy. That is what the preseason is all about, and the Rams are about to find out how deep their roster can be in 2025. Yeah, for sure. That is definitely what this is all about, and is just exactly what the Rams are looking for. But I do want to just keep going back to the fact that we have a bit more of a running back competition here, at least for the backup role, than I thought. Again, Jarquez Hunter, 4th-round pick. Blake Corum, 3rd-round pick at Michigan last year. Jarquez Hunter, a little on the small side, 5'9", 204. The weight-wise is fine, but height-wise, something to keep an eye on. Corum as well, very similar height and weight projectables to Jarquez Hunter there. And Jarquez Hunter, for your info, is going to be wearing number 35. So make sure to watch for number 35 tomorrow on your screens whenever he is in the game. And leave a comment down below right now. What do you think about this competition that I really didn't think existed, but Coach McVay is hinting at existing between Blake Corum and Jarquez Hunter? I do think there's no one else in the competition for the RB2 spot. Maybe Ronnie Rivers has a shot at RB3, but the other two backs, Cody Schrader and Jordan Waters, I don't really think have too much of a shot here to make this roster at all. So leave in the comments down below. I still give the slight edge to Corum, but I am very excited to see how Jarquez Hunter does play. And for the outside linebackers, we're getting into a lot of those guys in a bit later on in this video, but it is definitely quite a little hodgepodge of guys at the backup spots to try to see who can get those final roster spots. And with this preseason game coming up, it is important to look at each position and look at some of the guys who can really make contributions here heading into week 1 of the preseason. This story is also brought to us by RamsWire, which we will get into right now. It's almost time for the LA Rams to take the field for the first time this preseason as the host of Dallas Cowboys at SoFi Stadium on Saturday. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, from Inglewood, pitting two teams that practiced together earlier this week against each other once again. The Rams and Cowboys should both take a cautious approach when it comes to their starters, which means their backups and reserve players will be on the field a lot. While these games may not mean much in terms of the team's record, they're incredibly important to players fighting for roster spots. Going position by position, we at RamsWire, for this article, picked one player at each spot that we'll be watching closely on Saturday, and we're going to get into that right now. And a quarterback, no surprises here, Stetson Bennett. Bennett might end up being the only quarterback who plays in this one for the Rams, so of course he's the player to watch. Even still, this is an incredibly important game for the third-year quarterback. He's trying to make the 53-man roster once again as a third-string signal caller, but he'll need to play much better than he did last preseason when he threw 5 picks in 3 games. Bennett will likely scramble around and make plays with his legs, but we want to see him make on-time accurate throws to all areas of the field. Yeah, totally. I mean, Dresser Wynn might play a little bit just because I don't think Stetson Bennett has to play the entire game. I don't think it's a competition between him and Dresser Wynn at all, but for Bennett, I think it's important to kind of do what the Browns did today with Shador, who, by the way, looked amazing. Play around that 50 snap mark, and then you get Dresser Wynn in the game just because you don't need to play this guy the entire game. Like, is that really worth it? Because you don't want to risk injury, especially if he's playing well or playing really bad. Hopefully he's playing really well, but you take him out in that scenario. But I do fully agree. Stetson Bennett is the only quarterback I'm really keeping my eyes on for the Rams for tomorrow's game, and he will be donning his classic number 13. And at wide receiver, we got Kenoda Muntfield. We've heard for the last month how sharp Muntfield's routes are, and now we'll get to see them on full display Saturday night. He should get plenty of work as one of the primary receivers on offense this preseason, though his playing time could dwindle if he shines early on and locks up a spot on the depth chart. We can't wait to see how he does against other cornerbacks besides the Rams, who Devontae Adams says he's seen Muntfield kill in practice. It'll be fun to watch him in a game setting for the first time since college. Oh, 100%. Muntfield, 6'1", 180. The rookie, 52 catches, 813 yards, and 5 touchdowns. 15.6 yards per catch, though, in his senior season in 2024. And he will be donning DeMarcus Robinson's own number 15, tomorrow. So make sure to watch for number 15 on your screens on offense so that you get a full glimpse of how Muntfield's going to play in tomorrow's game. Tight end Anthony Torres. Tyler Higbee and Colby Parkinson won't play as proven veterans, and Davis Allen may get the rest treatment too. I disagree with that. With Terrence Ferguson injured, that leaves Mark Redmond and Torres as the only other tight ends. Neither is likely to make the team, but with potentially only 2 tight ends available, they're going to get a lot of snaps. Torres is a 6'6 rookie from Toledo who averaged 15 yards per catch in the last 3 years, scoring 9 touchdowns last season alone. He's someone to watch this preseason with the Rams holding out their top tight ends. Yeah, definitely. I can also see this being like an audition tape game for him. Maybe he's 6-on with another team somewhere, or on the practice squad with the Rams, or on another team's practice squad. Yeah, Torres is going to be wearing number 46, 6'6", 250 from Toledo, as this says, so keep an eye out for number 46 if you want to catch up with everything he's doing in tomorrow's game. But I do think Davis Allen might start, because Davis Allen with the 12 personnel, even if he's TE4, is going to be asked to play a little bit, especially blocking wise during the regular season. So I wouldn't be shocked if he gets a few snaps in tomorrow's game as well. And now we got to go to offensive line. Willie Lampkin, the fourth. Lampkin is an undersized center who might have been a first-round pick if he had the measurables teams look for. Instead, he went undrafted despite being one of the most reliable blockers in college football last year. Assuming Coleman Shelton and Bo Limmer both sit in the preseason, Lampkin should get a look at center. We'll see how he holds up against NFL nose tackles at 5'11" and 290, which will undoubtedly be a challenge. Yeah, that is a very small O-lineman in general, 5'11", 290, let alone the weight, the height at 5'11". You see these guys like a Joe All at 6'8", 320. I mean, again, that's not normal, but like normal guys, you see like 6'4", 305 more so at that O-lineman position, and that's definitely going to be quite the challenge for Lampkin up front. Even if he's going against other third and fourth string units, these guys are still going to be around the same size on the nose tackle side, if not even bigger, especially height-wise and probably arm length-wise than him. So it is going to be interesting to see how he holds up. Coleman Shelton won't play at all. Bo Limmer, maybe a little bit. Again, I'm not as big on Bo Limmer as others, but he's earned the right to not play as much this preseason. And Willie Lampkin's going to be rocking number 62, and he went to UNC. So look for number 62 there on the O-line if you want to keep up with how he's doing throughout the game there as well. And now to the defensive line, we have Ty Hamilton. There hasn't been much noise surrounding Hamilton this offseason, probably because of how talented the Rams are along the defensive line as a whole. But the preseason is a golden opportunity for him to stand out while the starters resting. We'll be taking a look at which positions he plays up front and how he does as a pass rusher. The deeper the Rams are in the D-line, the more dominant the defense can be. I agree, he's a rookie 5th-round pick, 23 years old. He will be wearing number 57 tomorrow, so make sure to look for number 57 there on the defensive line so that you can keep up with everything he's doing in that game. He went to Ohio State, 6'3", 300, so he's got good size there on the D-line. And just, again, that just shows you what Willie Lampkin's going to have to go up against and that O-line position. So it'll be definitely interesting. Comment that down below how well you think Willie Lampkin will do, and where will Ty Hamilton line up, because he's a very versatile player that we've been seeing all throughout training camp, playing multiple different spots on that D-line. And now to outside linebacker, we have Brennan Jackson. The outside linebacker group is perhaps the most intriguing one on the roster this preseason. McVay even mentioned Thursday how open the competition is behind Jared Verse and Byron Young. Jackson is competing with Kerry Thomas, Nick Hampton, and Josiah Stewart for reps at outside linebacker. And while we're excited to see all 4 players take the field, Jackson has our attention after missing just about all of the preseason last year and playing sparingly in the regular season. I do think Josiah Stewart's going to be on the team regardless. It's kind of a 3-team race. Hampton was on the team last year as well, so Kerry Thomas kind of being the odd man out. If you look at Jackson, 6'4", 262. He's 24 already. He will be 25 by the end of the year, and he will be rocking number 44 if you want to keep an eye out for Brennan Jackson on the outside linebacker position, number 44, for tomorrow's game. So make sure to keep an eye out on that. I'm more excited to see Josiah Stewart. I know it's kind of a base pick because he is a third-round pick, and you expect him to make the roster and be a decent contributor throughout his career, but I just think he has a higher ceiling than Brennan Jackson, and Josiah Stewart's another guy who's very versatile, so I kind of want to see him more than Brennan Jackson. But comment down below what you think about Brennan Jackson and Josiah Stewart and this competition as a whole, because I definitely think it's quite an interesting race here right now. Because now we have more here to get to. We got inside linebacker, and to no one's surprise, it is one of our favorite players down in the comments, Sean Dolac. Dolac is another undrafted rookie we'll be keeping an eye on, and like Lampkin, he's a bit undersized by NFL standards. That didn't stop him from leading FBS with 168 tackles last season and earning honors as a consensus All-American out of Buffalo. Omar Spates and Nate Landman are locked in as starters, and Chris Paul Jr. is going to make the team as a 5th-round rookie, but Dolac could push Troy Reeder for the 4th linebacker spot if he plays well enough. Yes, I totally agree with this right here. Sean Dolac, a undrafted free agent from Buffalo. He is a 5-year player. In 2024, he also had 6 sacks, 5 interceptions with a pick 6. He is 6'1", 225, 23 now, will be 24, and he is rocking number 56. So make sure to keep an eye out there for number 56 if you want to keep an eye on everything Sean Dolac is doing throughout this preseason game, because I'm keeping an eye on Dolac. He's going to be kind of this main guy that I'm really looking forward to watching tomorrow. Sean Dolac is the guy, and Jarquez Hunter are my 2 players, and I'm really keeping an eye out for tomorrow if I had to pick a top 2 to watch for. And at cornerback, we have Josh Wallace. Wallace made the team as an undrafted rookie last year and played meaningful snaps in the regular season, but it's time for him to take another step in year 2. It'll be a bunch of lesser-known cornerbacks on the field for Los Angeles with its top players resting, giving Wallace a great chance to make a play or 2 in the secondary. He hasn't yet secured a roster spot, but his play in the preseason will go a long way toward determining whether he makes the team. Corner, another position with an intense battle going on. He's 6'1", 190, undrafted corner who made the roster last year. He will be rocking number 30, so make sure to look out for number 30 there in the secondary tomorrow if you want to make sure you stay up to date with everything he's doing in the game. But Josh Wallace on the outside looking in was listed behind Emmanuel Forbes, behind De'Ron Kendrick, behind Sean Jolly, someone else who was on the team last year, obviously behind Kobe Durant, Witherspoon, and Darius Williams, but he's kind of listed right now from that depth chart that we saw a couple days ago as the last corner on the roster. So he has an uphill climb according to that unofficial depth chart. So we will have to see how he plays in that game. And comment that down below, because I think De'Ron Kendrick's going to get a lot of run out there as well. So comment down below who you're more excited to watch there, because De'Ron Kendrick has a lot to prove to me as well after missing all of last year with an injury. And now to our final player at safety, Nate Valcarcel. It could just be Valcarcel, Tanner Ingle, and Malik Dixon-Williams at safety in the preseason, so all 3 should be on the field often. Valcarcel was always around the ball in college, picking off 3 passes in each of the last 2 years, with none of their passes defensed. The Rams are currently 4 deep at safety when projecting the 53-man roster, so there's room for a 5th, and it could be Valcarcel who sneaks on to this team. Definitely a chance at that. 6'1", 192 from Northern Illinois, and he will be rocking number 43. I think there's an off chance he makes the roster because Chris Shula does love his safeties, so comment that down below as well what you think of that. And that is all for this episode of Rams Digest. Thank you very much for watching. As always, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 5K subscribers, and click that notification bell. Turn notifications on to all so you get notified and do not miss whenever we post our daily new Rams Digest videos covering all things Rams. And leave a like on this video right now for the preseason game tomorrow. Leave a score prediction in the comments right now. My prediction, I got Rams 27, Cowboys 17. So leave that in the comments down below what you think this score is going to be. I think the Rams take this one kind of easily. It's close in the first half, but then I think the Rams kind of pull away here in the second half. Comment down below right now your thoughts on the surprise running back battle between really just Blake Corum and Jarquez Hunter. And leave in the comments who are the 2 players you're most excited to watch for tomorrow. For me, it's Jarquez Hunter and it's Sean Dolac by a mile. But leave that in the comments down below. As well, I've been your host, Joshua Finehirsh. As always, thank you very much for watching another episode of Rams Digest. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon for another one. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon for another episode of Rams Digest.